Hello and welcome. You're watching the Thursday edition of This Is Exclusive with me, Shavan. Ladies and gentlemen, India is on the cusp of ending left-wing extremism. Home Minister Amit Shah says tale of Naxalism exists in Chhattisgarh. In the next 3 years, they'll completely wipe it off. But there is politics that is still being played over this entire issue. Tonight on This Is Exclusive, not only do we take you to that very place which was once considered to be completely impenetrable and a stronghold of the Maoists. Republic is the only national channel to have reached the epicenter. That's our story number one, where we take you to the encounter site. And not just that, also Deputy Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh would be joining us. Then we also get you an attempt that has been made by the Western media to once again smear the Prime Minister's campaign. That's our story number two. First, we start with that big crackdown on Red Terror, then the smear campaign against the Prime Minister. These are the two top stories that we get to you on This Is Exclusive. But up first, these are the headlines we are tracking at this hour.
इसकी बिल्कुल गहन जांच होनी चाहिए और उन सब लोग जो शहीद हुए, हमारे सुरक्षाकर्मी भी कुछ घायल हुए, उन सबको हमारी संवेदनाएं हैं और इसमें कोई राजनीति का सवाल ही नहीं है.
Forces crack down on Maoist terrorists in Chhattisgarh. Congress honors them with Shaheed tag. BJP hits out. The Public Media Network reports exclusively from Ground Zero, brings you latest from the Bastar region. Liquorgate explodes as enforcement director tells court diabetic Kejriwal is eating mangoes to raise sugar levels in a bid to get bail. Yet another cowardly attack in Jammu and Kashmir as terrorists shoot dead a migrant in Anantnag ahead of ports. Three men thrashed in Bengaluru for allegedly chanting Jai Shri Ram on Ram Navami. Republic accesses India's response to smear campaign against Prime Minister Modi by Irish Times. Vidita ko bolo ne package ma. Well, in this edition of This Is Exclusive, we get you details of India's biggest crackdown in Red Terror in Chhattisgarh. Republic Media Network is the only channel on the ground getting you a report from the thick of the anti-Naxal operations. Ladies and gentlemen, what's important to point out here is that Ambujmar, the very place where the encounter actually took place, was considered to be completely impenetrable. So much so that the exit and the entry route for the Maoists were as such that the security forces could not really enter these very areas. But with this encounter that has now taken place, not only would the security forces be able to perhaps increase the surveillance in the area, but also be in a position to wipe out Red Terror in that entire region. For the Maoists, remember, this was the entry and exit to Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and a few other states too. But having said that, remember, with Ambujmar finally being breached by the security forces, this undoubtedly happens to be one of the biggest operations that has been carried out. In just 1 year, 79 Maoist operatives have been killed by our security forces. But yet, politics essentially being played over this entire matter. The Congress party has also given the tagline of Shaheed to the Maoist operatives. Former Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, Bhupesh Baghel, says that this was a fake encounter that was carried out. And thereafter, he's also retracted from the very statement. Tonight on This Is Exclusive, we'll also be joined in by Deputy Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh in a short while from now. And also that ground report coming in from Bastar region. After much hard work, our reporters are on the ground entering that very area where the encounter was carried out, and how exactly was the operation really carried out? Those details also tonight on This Is Exclusive. First, let's also take a look at the report, and then we'll also go across to the Deputy Chief Minister, who's going to join us on the broadcast. I'm told that the Deputy Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh has already joined us. Mr. Sao, thank you very much for joining us on Republic TV. Let me straight away begin by asking you, undoubtedly one of the biggest operations to have been carried out in the state of Chhattisgarh. First, how exactly was this operation carried out, and what is the significance of it?
The government in Chhattisgarh, the guidance of our Union Health Minister, we are committed Bastar Naxal free, because it is necessary for development of Bastar. The very innocent tribal people, on account of this Naxal problem, they are not getting the benefit of government schemes. They are not having proper education facilities. They are not having proper health facilities. So, for development, the peace is necessary in the Bastar division, and guidance of our Union Minister, respected Amit Shah ji, our state government is doing well in this regard, and the action which has been taken after Kanker district, it is a very pre-planned operation which has been successfully conducted. 29 Naxal people have been killed in this operation. Out of those 29, who are of the big Naxal commander, and it is a big operation which has been carried
Right.
out. And
But Mr. Sao, former Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, Bhupesh Baghel, calls it a fake encounter. Of course, he is retracted from that statement. Supriya Srinath says that an inquiry should be carried out because tribals are being targeted by your government.
by the and the spokesperson of the Congress party. Our last 5 years, there was Congress government. They have not done anything against the movement, and in the year 2018, when the Congress government was formed, a very little part of Bastar was affected by the but 5 years regime, they reached to the urban areas. Now, statement made by the Honorable Chief Minister and speaks very loudly that how they are corrected situation, what was the action.
अरुण साहू जी, जो सवाल मैं पूछना चाह रहा था कि ये ऑपरेशन कितना महत्वपूर्ण रहा, क्योंकि जिस तरह से कांग्रेस इस पर सवाल लगातार उठा रहे कि फेक एनकाउंटर हो चुके हैं, और साथ ही साथ ये कहा जा रहा है कि ट्राइबल इलाकों में कई सारे ऑपरेशंस किए गए, ये कहकर कि ये माओइस्ट ऑपरेशंस है।
ये जो 30 नक्सली मारे गए हैं, 20 लाख के इनामी 2 नक्सली हैं, एक 10 लाख के इनामी नक्सली हैं, 1 लाख के कई नक्सली हैं, और जिनको ये पूरे उस ऑपरेशन को संचालित करते हैं बस्तर इलाके में। पूरा ऑपरेशन का ये सेंटर हुआ करता था जहां पर ये हुआ है, जहां पर ये कार्यवाही हुई है, और इसलिए बड़ा उनका नेटवर्क इस मूवमेंट से टूटा है और निश्चित रूप से इस बड़े अभियान के लिए हमारे सुरक्षा बल बधाई के पात्र है। मैं उनको बधाई देता हूँ। हमारा सरकार का कमिटमेंट, आदरणीय अमित शाह जी का लगातार मार्गदर्शन और हमारी सरकार की जो इच्छा शक्ति है के बलबूते पर इतना बड़ा ऑपरेशन को हमने अंजाम दिया। कांग्रेस पार्टी ने इस पर प्रश्न खड़ा करके अपनी मानसिकता, अपनी सोच को दर्शाया। नक्सली कभी कभी कहा करते थे, मीडिया में भी आता था कि नक्सली मानते हैं कि कांग्रेस की गवर्नमेंट उनकी गवर्नमेंट थी। आज जिस प्रकार से कांग्रेस की सरकार के समय भारतीय जनता पार्टी के प्रमुख पदाधिकारियों चिन्हित कर करके मारा गया, तो ये स्पष्ट है कि वो राजनीतिक कारणों से वो हत्याएं हुई है। और कांग्रेस पार्टी ने एक तरह से जो भाषा बोलती है कांग्रेस पार्टी, दलियों की भाषा ही एक तरह से बोलती है। तो कांग्रेस लगातार इस दिशा में कांग्रेस सरकार के दौरान नक्सल समस्या छत्तीसगढ़ में बढ़ी है। हमारी सरकार के दौरान हमने सरगुजा से पूरी तरह से नक्सलिज्म को समाप्त किया। हमारी सरकार में अब ठोस और मजबूती से काम करके बस्तर को भी नक्सल मुक्त बनाने का करेंगे।
छत्तीसगढ़ के डेप्यूटी चीफ मिनिस्टर अरुण साव जी रिपब्लिक टीवी से बात करने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। Shifting focus now to that comprehensive report that has been filed by my colleague Akhil after trekking for almost 5 hours. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we take you to that very place where the encounter was carried out. And why exactly is this now being hailed as one of the biggest and the most successful operation to have been carried out? Take a look at this report.
A day after nation's biggest crackdown on red terror, neutralizing 29 fearless journalists of the Republic Media Network report from Ground Zero. Republic exclusively spoke to the SSP who was in the thick of the anti-Naxal operation.
In the biggest anti-Naxalite operation which has happened at this very place right now, I'm just at the encounter spot where 29 Naxalites were killed, they were neutralized. Right now I'm joined by Kanker SSP Mr. Kalyan Iliseraji. Sir, could you please tell us how this entire operation was planned?
We had inputs about the presence of big Naxal groups in this Mad area for the past many days now, and they were planning to disrupt Lok Sabha elections. And as part of these inputs we were receiving, we launched an operation on 15th evening with Kanker Police and BSF. And this operation took place in the jungles of Kalpar village, which is in Abuj Mad. And in this operation, the firing went on for 4 hours, and there were many big ranking Naxals were present, and 29 of them were neutralized in this operation.
So what was the reason behind why they wanted to disrupt the Lok Sabha polls?
So you have to understand, CPI Maoist is a banned organization. They have always issued press releases saying that they do not believe in the democracy and they want to capture power in Delhi through the power of a gun.
So, sir, what we have been seeing that this operation continued for 4 hours, right?
Yes.
And as we can see, the terrain is a bit difficult. How did you strategize it? Because not only the district police, the state police, apart from that, what we have seen that the BSF team was also there. Yeah. There were 5 units which were involved. How collaborative that effort was?
BSF is deployed here, SSB also, and they are here for quite some time now. And there's good coordination between the forces. And this particular team was trained together also.
As you can see, sir, we are into the deep forest area. It's approximately 120 to 150 kilometers away from the Kanker. This you can see, it's a very steep curve, approximately 80% incline, 50 to 80% incline we can see. How do you see this terrain and how difficult for the security forces to conduct this operation inside this forest?
This is extremely difficult and this was never ventured into earlier. As I said, because of high level of training and high level of motivation and the desire to free these people in the interior areas from the clutches of violent ridden Naxalism, the men of Chhattisgarh and the forces from center, they're all united in this mission.
Sir, as we have seen that this mission is completed, right, there must have been several difficulties. How do you think it will boost the morale for the security forces, and how it will impact the movement that the terrorists, the Naxalites, have been running over the decades?
This is definitely a huge achievement and a huge dent for the Maoist organization. And because, as we see, there are 3 different area committees gathering in here, and most of them are eliminated, it would be extremely hard for them to regroup. However, this is a big organization with large number of armed cadres and ground support, and importantly support in the urban areas also.
Right.
So this is not going to be end of them, definitely, and we are not going to take them lightly because of such a huge success. But yes, this is going to cause a lot of trouble for them in the future. Yeah.
So when we try to move to this place, we have to walk a lot. We approximately walked on foot approximately 9 to 10 kilometers. It took very long for all of us to come from the district side towards this forest area. So when you conduct such kind of operations, right, how long you have to plan early to complete this operation in a more feasible way so that it's successful? Because what we have seen, this is a mega operation which was planned, which was a very successful, because you carried out an operation and in which 29 have been neutralized.
Yeah, we've been planning to hit this area for the last 2 months now. There are inputs of...
So are you saying that they were planning for the last 2 months?
Yes, because see, the Naxals conduct something called Tactical Counter-Offensive Campaign. It's called TCOC, during which they attack police security forces and loot weapons. So this is the time they carry maximum of their incidents. So from January to May is their time. They gather, they carry out huge incidents, and that's why we were also on alert based on past experience. We were trying to hit this area, but because of various reasons and the difficulties involved, we could not execute.
So there you see, we were just speaking to the senior SSP official, Mr. Kalyan Elesela, who was explaining the entire modus operandi of those Naxalites who have been running such kind of operations in this area, as we are just in the forest area where this operation was conducted by the Chhattisgarh police team, and apart from that the BSF team, in which they have successfully neutralized 29 Naxalites. And here you can see, I would like to request my Vijay to pan and show you the visual, because when we were coming over to this place, the villagers over here has warned us, if you are going to this place, because this is a very bit risky place, and if you are going to that place, go on your risk. So it was very tough for us. But Republic is the only media network channel that has come over here to give you the exact location where the entire encounter took place and how it all took place. We just heard from the most reliable sources in the police force, as we spoke to the senior police officer and who was a part of this entire operation.
We also learned that their nefarious agenda was to capture power in Delhi by using brute force of weapons. Chhattisgarh has the highest number of left-wing extremism areas, and over 79 Maoists have been neutralized in the state so far. The government for the first time has set up police camps outside Abujmad, with our security forces securing a huge win. Further probe into the case remains underway. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
To focus now to the other story that we're getting to you tonight on This Is Exclusive. This is the row over the Irish Times, which is only getting bigger. Today, Republic TV has accessed details of the response that came in from India, defending Akhilesh Mishra, Ambassador Akhilesh Mishra, I beg your pardon, who stood out against the smear campaign against the Prime Minister.
On April 11, the Irish Times published an editorial on the upcoming Lok Sabha elections titled "Modi Tightens His Grip." The newspaper said an intolerant Hindu-first majoritarianism is the order of the day. Responding to the editorial, the Indian ambassador to Ireland, Akhilesh Mishra, called it highly biased and prejudiced. Putting across India view, the ambassador said deeply entrenched ecosystem of corruption is a major factor behind Modi's ever-growing popularity. On the back foot, Congress responded by demanding resignation of the Indian envoy, claiming Mishra took a political position. Now, in the latest today, Republic accessed India's sharp response, defending Akhilesh Mishra, who stood out against the smear campaign against the Prime Minister. Source in the Indian Embassy has spoken exclusively to Republic and deplored Irish Times for its complete hostility against the Prime Minister.
On one side, the BJP claims that this editorial is a classic example of lazy journalism and has a one-sided view, whereas the Congress claims that there is nothing wrong with this editorial, as journalists are being tortured here in India and there is no such thing as free speech in India today. This took a political turn when Indian ambassador to Ireland decided to release a rejoinder to the editorial in which he accused Congress of corruption during their term.
While Congress continues to be soft on the Irish Times editorial, BJP calls out its propaganda.
In world ranking assessment also, our position has been slipped beyond 140. Maybe I think it's 142 rank in press freedom. That itself shows that the democracy is dying here. There is no freedom. It's a dictatorship in this country. And the editorial is correct in its own place. And of course, the person who has put up this story, he has truthfully done it.
We all respect freedom of speech and expression, but if any leading publication comes out with a point of view which is not supported by facts and is blatantly incorrect, or seems to have a one-sided view without having both the sides, then certainly a comment is to be made on it. There is not a single scheme or program of Prime Minister Modi's government in the last 10 years that distinguishes between Indian citizens on the basis of religion, region, caste or anything. It's only about who is the beneficiary. That beneficiary must get the benefit of the government program.
With the world hailing the Prime Minister's diplomacy, why is Congress defending those who schools a nation with electoral democracy? Bureau Report, Republic TV.